Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Aurora 4X. In this episode, it is finally time for us to begin terraforming. Terraforming is a really cool and interesting mechanic, and I want to make sure to try to line things up so that we sort of had an episode that started and properly dedicated itself to it. So, in, I believe, the last episode, we ended up building 5 terraforming installations here on Earth. Now, Earth doesn't need to be terraformed because, of course, it is perfect and ideal for a population. After all, we evolved here on Earth, so it's perfect. But Mars and Luna, both of which have a colony, don't have any atmosphere. As a result of not having atmosphere, they have a colony cost of 2. It's a combination of being outside the temperature range, not having enough oxygen, not having enough air pressure, etc., etc., etc. If any of those things are true, it's going to be a colony cost of at least 2.0, which is the factor that goes into calculating how much infrastructure you need per million people. It's worth comparing it, though, to Venus over here, which has a colony cost of 25, which means we need 2,500 infrastructure per million people, which basically means that Venus is not colonizable as is, and this is mostly a function of the fact that it has 100 times the air pressure of Earth. People would be crushed by the pressure. At what range can humans exist in this game? Well, we can actually find that out quite easily. There's a couple of different screens we can do it from. First of all, I think if we click on the sun here for the system view, which always takes maybe a minute to open up here because it's going to tell you about all the planets and bodies in your system. But one of the things it does show you is the environmental tolerance of your race over here in the top right corner. So we can see that humans here need a gravity between 0.1 and 1.9. Basically, we have a base gravity rating of 1, and we have a tolerance of 0.9. So we can deviate by 0.9 from that. With oxygen, well, we need at least 0.1 atmospheric pressure of oxygen, and we have a maximum atmospheric pressure of 0.3. Not only that, and this is not really listed here, but 30%, regardless of what the actual atmospheric pressure is, we can't have more than 30% of the atmosphere be oxygen. So on Earth itself, you can see here, obviously Earth has an atmospheric pressure of 1, and 20% of that is oxygen, which means to say oxygen has an atmospheric pressure of 0.2. So again, 0.2 is our rational number, and we have a tolerance of up to 0.1 either way. But in addition to that, there can't be more than 30% oxygen in the atmosphere, no matter what the total atmospheric pressure is. And then we have our temperature range here, which goes from minus 10 to plus 38. So again, our ideal is 14, and then we have plus or minus 24 from there, is the way it works. And we have an absolute maximum pressure of 4 atmospheres. Note that there's no minimum pressure requirement, which is really interesting. And that means if you sort of work out everything together, the minimum atmosphere we need is 0.1 atmospheres of oxygen, and then we need enough other gases to make sure that the oxygen percentage is below 30%. That's it. And those other gases, they can be greenhouse gases to raise the temperature. For example, on the Moon and Mars is quite cold. We need at least some greenhouse gases to improve the temperature over there. So, let's get started on this. We have an idle cargo group right over here, which should have been moving some of this stuff last episode, but again, wanted everything to sort of line up very nicely. And we can tell them to go to Earth, load terraforming installation components. Why doesn't it just say load terraforming installations? Well, the reason is that you can't actually move a terraforming installation in one go. I think you need, I think they're 5 times the size of a cargo bay. So if you had a cargo ship that had 5 cargo bays, then it could carry a full installation in one go. But luckily, the game does allow you to break things down into smaller bits for some of these things. So these guys here will be able to ship 40% of a terraforming installation per trip, because we've got a pair of people and each one of them have 1 cargo bay. So go to Earth, load terraforming components, and then, well, what do we want to terraform? We could do Mars or we could do the Moon. We could really do either one. They're both in relatively similar positions. The Moon technically has a higher population, so it actually might be nice to convert them over. But Mars keeps hitting a bit of a population cap because we're not really getting quite enough infrastructure over there. I think it'd be nice to terraform Mars first. Technically it has a little bit of an atmosphere, so it's like hardly any. It's like 1% of Earth, so it's basically the same as having none. But I don't know, for some reason, thematically, I love the idea of terraforming Mars first. We'll get to the Moon afterwards, but yeah, we're going to start off with Mars. So, Then we're going to send our ships over to Mars. We're going to unload all of our terraforming installation components. Then we're going to go to Earth, refuel, and I'm just going to put on a cycle moves. Technically, they will make this trip 10 times? No. And there's an odd number. I don't know. They're going to make a trip a certain number of times and bring over all the components. Math. Not going to think about it. All right. So, Earth, Mars, refuel from Earth, repeat indefinitely. Okay, so we're going to let them start with that because they're going to need to make more than one trip before we have a full terraforming installation. So you can see here, Cargo Task Group 1 heading towards Mars and is going to unload those goods and then is going to head back to Earth. Now, if I just stop the auto turns right now, and if we take a look at Mars, and we can see here, terraforming installations on Mars, 0.4. As a result of that, if we go to the environment/GMC screen, we are currently have no ability to produce any atmosphere. And the reason for that is you need at least, fractional installations don't do anything. You need a whole number of installations to be able to do any work. So we'll have to wait until at least one arrives. I mean, I can start giving it commands now, but let's wait until we've got a full set. So this is going to bring us up to 0.8. And one more trip will bring us up to 1.2, at which point we'll be able to start doing some terraforming. So there we go. Here comes the third trip. And done. Okay. So now Mars should have 1.2 terraforming installations, which means now under the environment/GMC tab, we now have the ability to produce 0.0005 atmospheres per year. That's not a whole lot. But we are sending some more installations there, and we'll probably actually research a little bit more terraforming tech to improve this. But, okay, what is our plan? Well, as I discussed, the first thing we're going to try to do is raise the oxygen level to be at least 0.1 atmosphere. So, from this selected gas, look at all the different gases we can do. And also, it's possible to have methane-based life forms as well, but we are, of course, oxygen-based. So we're going to choose that, and we want to add gas to the atmosphere. You can also use this to remove gas. If you don't have this checked, it's actually going to remove gas instead of adding it. And then we're going to give it a target number to reach. In this case, we want you to add oxygen until you hit 0.1 oxygen. So we will go ahead and save that number. And if we advance 5 days over here, what should happen, boom, we are now starting to accrue oxygen. We still have, 0.000 whatever total amount of atmosphere, but because the atmosphere on Mars is so thin, this is already counting as 0.07% oxygen. In fact, because there's effectively no other gases going on Mars, by the time we hit 0.1% atmosphere's worth of oxygen, our atmosphere will be like 90% oxygen, which is higher than 30% and therefore bad, but then we're going to add other gases. So we're going to let that go for a little while. How is our research doing? What are we doing right now? We're getting the magnetoplasma drives, which is good, but actually, you know what? I don't know if I have to rush it out quite as much as I've been doing. In fact, I think I would much prefer it if Bethany Sharp over here in construction and production gets the maximum number of labs, because I would very, very much like to tear through a few of her things. I don't know about the civilian economy so much, but after she's done that, I would love it if she could work on the research rate, which is still in the queue over here. It's a big project. It's 20,000 research, although she's making 14,000 per year. So it's just going to take her a little over a year to complete the next research rate project, which is going to be nice, because every time we complete that, every one of our labs gives us an extra 40 research points. We're up to 40 labs right now, which isn't bad. We are building some more labs, which I'm happy about continuing. After that, I'm not sure. I think we are going to have to continue to worry about mining the solar system. You can see Earth is about to run out of corbamite, and corundium is not too far behind. Corundium is actually very scary to run out of, because if we look at automated mines, we need 120 corundium per automated mine. Now, we do have a stockpile right now of almost 20,000 that is still banked, right? Corundium over here. But we can go through that quite quickly, especially building all kinds of different things. So we're going to have to find more sources of all these things. So we still have one more mass driver, and we do have more automated mines. And correct me if I'm wrong, last time, did we not set up a contract? Well, we may have had a contract, but we don't anymore. Corundium. So if we need corundium to make automated mines, and we need automated mines to mine things, where might we want to... Okay, Van Beesbroek has a lot of corundium, actually has a lot of all kinds of things. Vesta's another really good target over here. I think what I'm going to go and do is create the colony as is. Auto center map on. There we go. That is a nice function. Someone pointed out to me in the chat a little while ago. This is an asteroid, but we're not showing it. How come? Because it's got no body on it, right? Or it's got no colony, and we have it set where? Display to? Asteroids and colonies only. If I get rid of that, I guess let's set it to asteroids with minerals only. That's probably a better filter. So Vesta's an asteroid, which is great because we actually don't have to worry about chasing this thing down. So what I'm going to do after we are done shipping our terraforming installations over, I'm going to send the mass driver and automated mines over to Vesta. So we're going to finish our current shipping. Let me auto turn 5 days at a time over here. Oh, finished a new lab. Very exciting. Let me bring Laura Henson up to 10 labs just because it's a nice round number. But then we actually might give love to a few of the other categories over here. And at some point, I would like to build some more military ships. That would be nice. Mining colony on Venus is expanding to more civilian mining complexes. We completed the research into the Gauss cannon launch velocity. So let's go and queue up something else in the missile and kinetic section just to continue to use up all of our people and get them more training. We'll get a few more. Actually, do we need both of these? I'm researching the Gauss tech so that we can do the CIWS. Yeah, okay, we do need the rate of fire as well. We literally don't have it yet. And obviously, I think we are going to want more than just the base level of these things before we go ahead and create any CIWS systems. Let me go ahead and select Ethan Williams over here and grab a few of these other projects to continue to queue up. So like the next level of Gauss cannon, we're going to go in QU. And it would be nice to get like more powerful warheads and everything too, right? And then the magazine ejection chance, like just go ahead and improve a variety of missile systems. We will give them more labs soon. Their missile launcher reload rate. These are all things that we're definitely going to want before we design our first missile ships, which is coming soon. Because we're going to run out of like really ideal mining spots in our solar system in the not too distant future. And what we're really going to look for is we're going to want to start exploring through our jump points, which we haven't gone and surveyed yet. And we're going to want to jump to another system, and we're going to look for like a really, really sweet spot to mine. The Coates colony is producing some more ships. Excellent. Bit of overcrowding on Mars. We haven't finished our cargo route yet, right? Presumably you're still doing that. You are still doing that. Mars, how many installations are you kicking around right now? Oh, an equal 2. So we're now producing 0.01 atmosphere per year, which ain't the fastest, but could be worse. Our oxygen is going up. I guess one of the things I could do I have a biology project going right now? Yeah, the increased biology or terraforming rate. And we actually might want to go and bump that up. Again, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put a little pin in our magnetoplasma drive technology. We really do want better engines, but I think we're actually going to be happier if we can get these terraforming rates up a little bit. So the next level will be in May. So right now, we have a rate of what? 001? So this is going to go up by 50% faster terraforming, which is a lot. I mean, it's still kind of a long, slow job, especially with just 5 terraforming installations. I will note, the other thing we could have done is built ships, terraforming ships, by giving them terraforming modules. I think I've talked about this a few times, right? I've made a new sort of dummy ship over here. I think we have the tech for it. Terraform modules over here. So you can load those on a ship instead, and then the ship parks itself in orbit around a planet and does the terraforming. It works exactly the same way. It's literally the same menu. It's over here. This will also take into account anything that happens to be in orbit for your terraforming. So it's another great way of doing it. But I think I'm going to be happy with these ground-based installations, especially since we do have a population here. I think in the end it's cheaper to cart these around with cargo ships than to build a ship for it, or multiple ships for it, because you'd still need quite a bit of stuff. But the ships are a great way to pre-terraform things. Another idle research lab. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Joel over here. Unrest Mars because of overcrowding. But as soon as we get our atmosphere in the appropriate area for Mars, then they're not going to need any infrastructure anymore. And what we can do is we can move the infrastructure to some other place that we're going to settle. I can move all the infrastructure over to Moon and maybe not care about terraforming the Moon. Alternatively, Actually, that might not be a terrible idea, because what we might want to do, or Mercury. Hang on, what's the colony cost of Mercury? I mean, it's probably ridiculously high, but we can terraform it. So Mercury's planetary suitability, or colony cost, is very, very, very high. Has no atmosphere, and the temperature is terrible. Actually, but we can add anti-greenhouse gases on Mercury to help bring its temperature down. That might be an interesting project. Just ship enough infrastructure on Mercury to get some population. It does take a lot, but we could probably, if we shipped all the infrastructure from Mars and the Moon to Mercury, we could have some population there. And then that population could work the terraforming infrastructures to try to convert things over. Might be a plan for the future. Another lab. Let me go ahead and give it to Lara. And I think on the next tick, we are going to finish... No, did I remember wrong? Did I get the year wrong? I thought we were going to finish the terraforming rate. Oh, it's May. I think I was reading March. It's May. All right, that's fine. Now, what are we going to build after we finish all these labs? I think what I might do is build another civilian and naval shipyard, because I don't think we've done that yet. Get confused, because I do still play I've got another offline game. Yeah, I think I'd want a second of each. And just in preparation for some future plans that I've got. And then after that, I think we'll go and construct some more automated mines. The other thing we can do, on Earth, since we are depleting our minerals over here, right? Eventually, we're not going to want to mine on the Earth because there just won't be anything left. In fact, the accessibility of a lot of things is continuing to drop pretty dramatically. We have, on Earth, 400 mines. One of the things we can do in industry is we can convert mines to automated mines. So an automated mine takes 120 duranium and corundium. Converting a regular mine to an automated one takes less, 75 per. An automated mine generates just as much mining as a mine. It's just more expensive, but the advantage is it doesn't need people. But what we can do is slowly convert over our mining infrastructure here on Earth to automated mines, and then just ship everything off to the point where at some point we'll run out of minerals on Earth completely, and then yeah, we'll just go ahead and move them off to different things. All right, you're still moving your terraforming installations. Yeah, it'll be nice once we get some new drive tech to rebuild our freighters. Our freighters are not quite as quick as I would like. And we certainly need the new drive tech for our military ships, in particular missiles and things like that. There we go. Finish the new terraforming rate, so that's going to happen a lot faster. And I think I'm going to go and get the next level. Because we will terraform a fair number of things over the course of the game. I'll go ahead and invest the next level. I think that's going to be okay. Joel Kent is going to get started on that. I do want to finish the research rate as quickly as possible. Yeah, let's leave this stuff as is. That's going to be okay. So now Mars is terraforming slightly faster. What are they up to? Up to 4 full installations, and we'll just have to wait until the final shipments to go as well. We're now producing faster because of the technology and the fact that we're up to 4 labs, which is great. We're actually up to 4% oxygen, but it's the atmospheric pressure that we're looking for. So it's still going to take years to terraform them, but we'll get there. I think the very last terraforming order is going to fail for our cargo ship because it's only going to load 1 of 2, and then it'll complain about that. Oh, someone actually got an increased research bonus. Who dat? Research complete, but who got the... Oh, I don't necessarily want, all officer updates to be color-coded, because a lot of times this is going to be for someone I don't care about. Oh, Bethany Sharp, 45%. Really nice. We finished our research into beta shields. And we have 2 labs right now. I think we just built one at the same time. I definitely think we want to continue to research some of these defensive things. Presumably, if we're starting to research shields, we're going to want to research to at least probably like the delta level, which comes after gamma here, just because at that point we'll have shields that are going to be good enough that are going to be worth installing on a ship. We're obviously also going to have to research the shield regeneration rate as well. We might want the thermal reduction for our engines to make them a little bit more stealthy. It does increase the cost and material needed to build an engine, but we might want to have a stealthier ship to explore these other systems. For now, I'm going to go ahead and focus on getting the gamma shields up. So Evie, go ahead, grab 2 labs. That's going to be okay. There we go. And yeah, that increased research rate is going to be really lovely to finish. Instability on Mars. Everyone's getting reassigned, which is, I'm fine and happy. There we go. Failed to load component. But that's because, if I was doing the math there was one component chunk left on Earth. I'm pretty sure. Because Mars, you're sitting... Oh, no, you're sitting at exactly 5. Okay, no, I guess it worked out. I guess the last trip you do just pick up the 1. It doesn't fail outright until you don't have any at all. So it picked up 1 terraforming installation, so the other cargo ship was empty. But that's okay. And it's moved it up to Mars. We've got 5 and running at our current multiplier. So there's our annual production. So it's still going to take a while. People could do the math. But if we want our oxygen to hit 1 atmosphere, well, it's going to take years, isn't it? Because we need to get to 0.1. And currently we're going at 0.0032. Which is 31 years. I think we're going to want more terraforming installations. Yeah, actually. On Earth, finish these research labs is going to be fine, but build me like another 5 terraforming installations. That will bring us down to, say, 15 years. And then we're also going to get the next level up of technology, which will probably bring us to around 10 years. So it's still a big job, but it's not so brutal. It's still going to eat into some of our duranium here, but it's also going to use bornite. Bornite we're not mining on Earth anymore, but we haven't really been using it up, so hopefully it's okay. After that, yeah, build me 1 more naval shipyard, which is very expensive to build. But I think we're going to appreciate having it, because it will require changing or retooling our shipyards less frequently. And another civilian one as well, and I'm going to be happy with that. And then we might go back to research labs, because we're going to continue to want more and more research labs. Okay, let's see here. Research rate, yes, still good. So on Earth, okay, we have no more terraforming installations. We do have those mines, which I wanted to move to Vesta. So let's set that up right now. Cargo Group Task Group 1, go to Earth, load 1 mass driver. Don't load 2, or we're going to be throwing rocks at an Earth that has no mass driver anymore, which would be bad. And then load 1 automated mine. And then go to Vesta over here. And unload all installations, and then go back to Earth and refuel. And then when you're done that, we'll set you up with a continuous loop. So where was Vesta? Oh, it's orbiting, of course, so it's moved. Let's go... Is it on the main display? No, it's on military. Isn't it? Contacts. Hide civilian ship names. There we go. It's filling in too much space. Pluto! Look, it's Pluto, you guys! Our little dwarf planet. Anywho, Vesta, there it is, right over there. So I think Cargo Task Group 1 just actually finished the first delivery. It did. Now it says it's done its orders. So now we're going to give it the continuous one. Go to Earth, load as many automated mines as you can. Go to Vesta. Unload them all. Go back to Earth, refuel, and cycle moves. Meanwhile, on Vesta, we're going to have to tell it that we would like it to fling its rocks at Earth. I'll guess more duranium. It's not going to last that long. It doesn't have a huge supply, but good accessibility. It's the corundum that's going to be really nice to make sure that we've got that. Plus some other things. It's actually a great, great little rock. All right, let's go. And it really is the accessibility that's the prime number. I mean, it is nice that, having a high supply, things won't run out. But mining low accessibility places just aren't worthwhile. Let's go ahead and drop another one in there. That extra lab construction. Still talking about overcrowding and unrest on Mars, but it's going to continue to get better. Now, one of the things, I don't think unrest, I think I was saying that earlier it did, but I don't think unrest actually modifies our rate. So we're at, we'll call it 33 is our current rate, and that's with a 40% stability modifier. If I do, we have another research lab. Hold on, let me assign that to whoever, you. If I jump forward 30 days, because the unrest will have changed. Actually, it's basically unchanged on Mars, never mind. And we have no ground units here. Do we have troop transports? No, we don't have troop transports. It might be nice to have done that, because it would help counter the unrest. Now, troops on a planet don't cancel the source of unrest, but they provide negative unrest themselves, so they can effectively move you in the right direction. I don't think in this game I ever even designed a troop transport, did I? That's our GSV, our colony ship, our PDC, another PDC, another geological survey vessel. Actually, the... Oh, that's our grab survey vessel. Right. Maple syrup. Prestonian is just my little dummy placeholder. So I don't think we do have a troop carrier. Maybe I'll hold off. We don't really truly need it. It would be nice to reduce more unrest on Mars, but it's not actually a deal breaker. There's another inactive research lab on Earth. There we go. July 51. So about a half a year away, we'll get the next level of terraforming, and then I'm going to stop. The terraforming levels after that will get quite a bit more pricey. It would be nice to terraform faster, but we're okay. So we're going to finish shipping all the automated mines over to Vesta, and then once that's done, we'll ship more... No, Venus is more civilian mining complexes. Nice. Oh, this reminds me. We haven't checked in a while. Who is running what? So our civilian administrators, in particular, anywhere that we care about minerals, which Vesta we do, we would like it if there was someone with a mining bonus who is currently not assigned. So Aiden Dunn over here, who also has a factory production bonus. Wow. Still, that's going to be okay. We'll move you after. We're going to put you on Vesta. Assign. What kind of minerals does Mercury have? I seem to remember it had a lot, but it was low accessibility. Okay, it's actually not that bad. It's actually not bad at all. We will want to mine Mercury. I mean, really, it's got a lot of neutronium carbonate, which we haven't run out of yet, although at some point. So this is primarily what it's there. These two add up to under 2, which means overall our mining's not going to be terribly efficient. But with the extra little bits, which we wouldn't, by themselves aren't necessarily worth setting up for, but they do add up to a trickle of other minerals that are going to be over 2.0 accessibility, which is the number that I'm targeting. So that's going to be okay. Yeah, we definitely want to mine Mercury. It's just not critical yet. We haven't, run out of those things. We can only build automated mines so quickly, especially if we're also want to build research bases and also want to build terraforming stuff and like all the things. Build all the things. Let's go ahead and get some acceleration on the grab sensors. So I guess, we're basically in a position where we can go and put a cut in this video. We've officially run out of Corbomite on Earth. All right, but we're working on it. Let's take another look at our terraforming status. Oxygen is now up to 0.0025 atmosphere. So it still has a way to go, but it's getting there. It's 20% of our atmosphere is oxygen, which is the exact percentage of oxygen on Earth, but it's still such a thin atmosphere that you can't really breathe it. So we're going to have to keep kicking it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a cut in here. What I may do between episodes is go ahead and just, advance time a little bit more, continue to just ship some automated mines throughout our solar system, continue to work towards the terraforming of Mars, and then also just tech up. Really, there's not a whole lot to do other than continue to make our empire just a little bit bigger, but not in any sort of particularly fancy or sophisticated way. It's worth noting our racial wealth is currently dropping right now, which is interesting. We are spending a lot on research. You do spend money on your research labs, and that's really the big difference over here. We could also our construction, right? There's money for our construction, there's money for our research, and that is not being countered quite enough by our taxes yet. But once we get our colonies properly growing on Mars and Luna and get rid of all that unrest, our tax dollars should come in pretty well. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time.